Hello, my name is Donna DeWitt, and I'm going to speak with you about confidentiality of information. The Individuals with Disability Education Act, IDEA, requires schools to provide parents, surrogate parents, foster parents, guardians, or grandparents of a student who is eligible for or referred for special education with a notice containing a full explanation of the rights available under Part D of the IDEA. So what is confidentiality of information? It is the act of protecting all personally identifiable data, information, and records collected, used, or kept by the school district about a student. Confidentiality requirements also apply to discussions about a student and the student's record. Personally identifiable data information includes your child's name, your name, or name of another family member, your child's address, the child or student's social security number or student number, and any descriptions that would easily identify the student with reasonable certainty. Now, parents and students put their trust in the stewards of education and the keepers of data to ensure a student's personal information is properly safeguarded and is used only for legitimate purposes and only when absolutely necessary. Before any major identification, location, or evaluation activity, a notice must be published or announced in newspapers or other types of media with circulation adequate to notify parents throughout the state of the activity to locate, identify, and evaluate children in need of special education and related services. So the Maine Department of Education requires the school administrative units, also known as the SAU, to provide a description that is adequate to fully inform parents about confidentiality of personally identifiable information, or PII, including a description of how the PII is shared and in what languages of the various populations across the state, methods of how that information is gathered, stored, retained, and disposed of. It also includes a description of how that information, that personally identifiable information, will be used and under what conditions information is disclosed to third parties. Also must include a description of Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, also known as FERPA, the rights and regulations in 34 CFR Part 9, and a parent's rights not to allow any release of personally identifiable information to third parties. Now, schools may disclose without consent directory information such as a student's name, address, telephone number, date and place of birth, honors, and awards and dates of attendance. However, schools must tell parents and eligible students about this directory information and allow parents and eligible students a reasonable amount of time to request that the school not disclose directory information about them. Schools must notify parents and eligible students annually of their rights under FERPA. The actual means of notification, special letter, inclusion in a PTA bulletin, student handbook, or newspaper article, is left to the discretion of each school. The schools must list what they consider to be directory information about students. Students and former students may block the publication of any such directory information about themselves. Such blocks are permanent unless removed by the student. Information not included in the directory information may not be published. Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, also known as FERPA. This gives parents and students the right to review and change records containing inaccurate information. It allows schools to disclose educational records without consent under certain guidelines: financial aid, accrediting organizations, judicial request or court subpoena, other schools a student is transferring to, appropriate officials in cases of health and safety emergencies, and state and local authorities within a juvenile justice system pursuant to specific state law. So when should a parent receive these notices? They should be received once every school year and upon initial referral or at the time of parent request for evaluations. Upon receipt of the first special education citizen or parent complaint in a school year, upon receipt of the first due process hearing request in a school year, and when a decision is made to take a disciplinary action that constitutes a change of placement, and upon parental request.